Previously on Lost.
Greetings, Ron Smalek.
And Fellonius the Wizard with Previously on Lost.
Yes, we are covering 3 more episodes. We're getting way too close to the end of Season 2. I'm starting to get nervous.
Well, I'm not, because I'm getting frustrated.
Uh-oh.
Now, this is going to be one of those ones.
Oh,
Yes.
boy. I really enjoyed 2 of the 3, and then one of the 3 was okay. It was fine.
Yeah, well, overall it's okay, but I have a word in my head that's... Well, we'll get to that.
Are we going to have to bleep it out?
No, the word is ridiculous.
Well, before we start, I have to say, I'm sorry I forgot the blankets. I want to give a really quick shout out to Baker Bell.
Yep.
She's all caught up with us in watching Lost and following along, and I enjoyed her comments, so just wanted to say thank you.
Yes, and I have Scoffert on my channels, also trying to catch up.
Nice.
He's a bit behind, but he's getting there.
So what are we covering today? Which 3?
These are Season 2, 19, 20, and 21. SOS, 2 for the Road, and question mark.
Okay, so let me tell you a little bit about SOS, unless you have anything else to start.
No. We are eager.
Okay.
Start.
Yeah, we're going lickety-split today because we are rapidly getting to the end of some major stuff going on here.
No kidding.
SOS. Rose is surprisingly and vehemently opposed to Bernard's plan to create an SOS signal. Romantic sparks are rekindled between Jack and Kate when they trek into the jungle to propose a trade with the others, and Locke begins to question his faith in the island. I don't remember him questioning his faith in the island, actually. But
He is actually slipping back, yes.
okay, well,
It's Henry's fault.
so I liked Jack in this episode.
Okay.
He makes, actually 3 things I liked. One is he's using Henry's idea against him about a hostage trade.
Yes.
Now, we don't know if Henry intentionally incepted that idea, but I still think it was a good idea.
You never get Walt.
Yeah. Well,
So,
yeah. Yep, that was...
we have heard Henry also say that the fact that Henry has failed in his mission makes him not a good trade bargain.
Yeah. Well, and that's next week, or next episode, though.
Might be, but still.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. So that was 1, and then 2, when Jack tells Kate that they didn't want her, and so that's why she's okay to go with him. I thought that was pretty smart of him. And last was when he actually makes this shot with the gun and he hits the rope. It's cheesy, but I thought it was good because Kate couldn't make it, and I couldn't wait for them to get out of that stupid net.
Exactly. Well, if we're going to have one good thing out of this episode, that has to be Jack's shot, actually.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated with this stupid Kate. Why don't they just shoot her? I mean, if it was a donkey who don't do what she's told to do, they would probably make her meet. I mean, but...
Well, at least she told Jack all about the medical station. And
finally.
And we talked about that last week. Now, I can't remember if that was on or after the show, though.
No, we are talking too much.
Yeah, it's all a big blur of awesomeness.
As you probably, if you have watched this episode, you probably realize that we are just avoiding the flashback. But should we probably start there?
Well, I mean, the only other thing I'll say about Jack and Kate is they find Michael at the end.
Sort of.
I don't have anything else about Jack and Kate, but...
No.
Okay, so yeah, let's go to the flashback. Who's this episode focused on?
Bernard and Rose, and it's probably the only one we'll get. It feels like we get their combined story is total. I'm not totally sure what Rose has got for a disease. She's ill. My guess is cancer, just to pick one.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but mainly because she says you can feel it in your body. And actually, when it comes to cancer, that's one of the things you actually can feel. If it's breast cancer, it's obvious. But even if it's in your tummy or something, you are feeling that you are having cancer.
I
So
like,
that's my guess. It has no importance whatsoever.
well, I really like their discussion when they're like driving in the car and they're like, we're lost. And like, we're not lost.
Nope.
And that whole thing of like, they're actually lost on the island. The show's called Lost. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, well. But he wasn't lost.
No.
And we get to see a bit of how Bernard is. He's one who wants to make things done. He is a guy who wants to solve problems. He's not going to give up, never. That's one thing. And he doesn't want to stop doing anything. I've met a lot of these guys.
Sure.
They can go through brick walls just to get to what they want. They often fail, so they're nice people, but they try and try. He's one of those that I called soft animals.
Yeah, I mean, I think I have this problem when it comes to my wife. Like, I always want to fix her problem. I don't want. Sometimes she just wants to vent about something,
Yeah.
and I just want to immediately fix it and not waste time talking about it. So I kind of,
You relate,
yeah,
rather, yeah. Well, it's a nice person, but it's not always working well. And in this case, it doesn't work at all. She doesn't want to go to a healer, but that's their excuse. Why are they in Australia on their honeymoon?
yeah, and I was wondering too, like, because she seems kind of religious,
Yes.
and I wasn't sure if she didn't want to go to the healer because of her religion, but it didn't seem that way. It just seemed like she didn't have faith before, and then now she does.
Mhm.
I'm not sure that may be reaching.
Um, we we have seen Rose sitting there enjoying her life, knowing that Bernard still was alive and all that. She knew that the tail section had managed somehow to escape and survive. I mean, we have seen her enjoying herself
Yeah,
on the island. Now we get to know why.
yeah, and they did a good job of holding out the rationale till the end, like
Yes.
why she couldn't leave and why she was against him with the SOS. Well,
Yeah.
I thought it was somewhat funny how he no one would work with him, and I mean you're really seeing everybody on the island just not
Yes, and
planning to get
that's my
off.
first one when I reacted myself. Bernard is right. The others are ridiculous. I
Yeah,
mean, of course you want to be saved. It's gone over 2 months. You know that there's people on the other side of the island. Perhaps they can help you. Why don't you contact them and try at least to get off the island?
yeah,
No. Now, this is where I start to feel like, wait a minute, this is not humanly logical. This is totally stupid. We have always talk about how you and I, what we would do if we happen to end up on this island. But we always think of it as individuals, as characters. But as a group, we should have actually gone together and said, who wants to leave this place? There are guys over there who even have boats. Why don't we go and talk to them?
yeah. That's true.
Why don't
Diplomacy.
they? Making a sign on the beach? I
I
mean, come on.
Well, I feel like, well, first off, I want to give a quick shout out to some folks who probably won't ever listen to this, but Dads Are Funny is a YouTube channel where they did a 5 year long Minecraft series of a dad and his daughter trapped
Yeah.
basically on a sort of on a jungle, and they built a SOS sign on the roof of their cabin. So every time I heard someone say SOS, I kept thinking about Madma, Mary and Dad's Minecraft
Yes,
Adventures.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so the other thing too is lava rocks. I mean, those are very sharp, and they would be chewing up everybody's hands.
Yeah, and they're 1 kilometer away or
Yeah,
half a mile. I mean, that's stupid. And
Yeah.
now I'm feeling like, hold it, what are these people doing and what are the writers thinking? There is no real logic behind it. I mean, and Bernard is the one. He says it's like we have just come back from the store.
Yeah.
And I'm totally with him on this one. It
Yeah.
feels like the people are going back and forth like it's Van Nuys Boulevard or, I don't know, South King Streets in Honolulu, just going around shopping. I mean, come on.
Well, I kind of would understand our main characters, but the 30 other people in the background, some of them had to have been interested in getting off.
Yes, and even Bernard. I mean, he's been shot at by the others. He's been hunted. They have taken 9 or 13 or whatever from his group before. I mean, the only thing the others can help him with is get off the island, and why shouldn't they? I'm getting
Well,
back to this. Don't worry, I'm getting back to this because I'm going to turn that viewpoint
uh-oh.
in the next episode.
Well,
But
so
take it from Bernard. He's
yeah.
totally 100% correct. The
Yeah.
others have given up. They have forgot about their lives. Now, you and I say most of those main characters has a clean slate. Locke doesn't want to leave the island because he's healthy. Now we get to know that Rose suddenly doesn't have her illness. She doesn't want to leave the island.
Yep.
Those two are totally understandable, if it's true, and we know in Locke's case it is. And Bernard also says, well, then we stay.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the others...
Yep. I agree to a great extent. Seems like it maybe. Well, I don't know. I don't actually. I don't really even know that there's that much to argue about it because we both agree. Like
Yes,
it was
but we
that
know.
part was thin, but I think the payoff at the end was the right payoff that he can't leave because
Yes,
she
individual,
can't
yes.
leave.
Yes, the
So
character, yes. Again, we are
yeah,
going back to the characters.
yeah,
But if we're thinking as a whole group, including Jack and all the guys,
yeah,
don't they want to get off the island at all? They are in, well, Jack is always, is as usual, doing the American hero style. He wants a war, and he's going to get it. Don't worry. He's going to have a war. Why he always have to have a war, I don't understand. But that's the American hero spirit. We Europeans don't bother. We don't need more wars. We have had 2 big ones over here. That's enough.
yeah.
But in America, we have to have a war. There has to have to be a conflict. There has to be confrontation. There has to be weapons, of course. Bang. And that's something that's bad. We get to see that later on. But Bernard is right in the first place. And I'm thinking this is a very thin line the writers are walking. We are having 4 more seasons, and I don't even know if anybody gets off the island. And the thing is, we are supposed to believe in several different types of scenarios, including that this is a dream world that doesn't exist and all that. Yeah, but the group as such should be able to get off the island with the help of the others. Or at least go and ask them.
Well, we'll have
No
to.
one has even asked them with the contacts they have had so far, and I feel that's ridiculous.
I think if this episode, okay, not this episode, if the idea of the SOS signal would have been explored early in season 1, I would have been fine with it. Although,
Yeah.
like you said, not wanting to get off. I think they just needed a reason to. Well, I think they held off on Rose and Bernard a little bit too long, and but
Well,
honestly though, I don't know. I thought the episode was fine.
depending on which viewpoint you're taking, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
if you're going to, we started off watching the characters grow,
Yeah.
and we are talking about each character's clean slate,
Yeah, yeah,
and that really blindfolded us. Sort of.
yeah. Sure.
I mean, even Kate wanted to get off the island when they got the raft finished.
Yeah.
Because he still doesn't have a clean slate.
Somehow she just wants to run.
Yeah, because that's what's in her blood.
Yeah.
Stupid lady.
So,
Well,
So I think the other thing that was interesting with Rose and Bernard's story is that Isaac, the guy in Uluru,
Yeah.
sort of gives another sort of explanation of the island as a character,
Yes.
foreshadowing that she needs a magical place or a place that focuses magical energies, for lack of a better term. But
Yep.
it's not Australia; it's somewhere else, and
Yep.
obviously now we know that's the island. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought it was fine. It wasn't the best, but it was okay.
Yeah, but
And
I have that now. They have put that doubt in my mind,
yeah,
and that's lowering the quality of this series.
well, the
That's not
other
really.
the other person I was annoyed with this episode was Locke. Uh, because the first thing we see him do is he's asking Henry again,
Yeah.
"Are you sure you didn't? Did you really push those numbers?" It's like he already lied to you, or said, or didn't, or said it. Why do you keep asking him? You just look like one of those little
Trust.
2 year olds.
Yes, he's slipping backwards because if Henry didn't push the button, then he wouldn't have been a.
Right,
He didn't have to himself.
right. And then
And
he,
actually, no, we don't see anyone push the button during that episode at all.
right. We just it's implied though.
Yes, it's implied
Yeah, and
because we
we
don't hear the alarm and stuff.
but like, and then he starts thinking about the blast door map, and he's just really teasing me, like he's gonna try to figure something out. I'm getting all excited.
Yes.
So
That part still I like, but yes, Locke is slipping back. But as long as he can walk, he shouldn't actually slip back and lose face. He shouldn't, but somehow he does. And if he slips way more backwards, he won't be able to walk again. And that's his limit. But again, a character. That's his limit. When he can't walk because whatever reason he ended up in a wheelchair, then the island has let go of him.
so okay, I'll hold this question until we get a little bit farther.
Yeah,
Actually,
because we're getting rid of it. Let's see. Locke, however, yeah, Locke goes out, sits on the beach, and meets with Rose. And this one was very important, I thought. Um, let's see. It won't. Okay, there was something about timing. He was thinking about because Rose had met Locke in a wheelchair. She knew.
yeah, in the
She dropped her
flashback.
pills.
In the
Yes,
flashback, yeah, that's
dropped her
true.
pills. And Locke picked them up, kind of as he always is. And she has known from day one that Locke suddenly became healthy.
Yep, that's true.
Suddenly. Without knowing what type of injury he had, she knew that he was in a wheelchair from the beginning. Now, we don't know either how badly injured it is, if it's only mentally or whatever, but still, she knew and has known all the time.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
why she has never gone up to Locke and said, "Why are you doing this? Why are you doing that?" Now she says, "You'll be running around soon enough in the jungle again." Like, yeah, because that's what this island do to you. She
Yeah.
doesn't tell him about her own problems.
Well, I would say if I mean I'm not an expert, but if you look at all the injuries people have received over the show, they do seem to heal pretty quickly.
Yes, they do. They actually do, including Henry's.
Yeah, he took quite a beating actually.
I mean, he was totally blue and yellow, and he was looking like a Swedish flag. And suddenly the yellow was gone within a day. That's not going to happen to me, ever. But that's okay. I'm totally fine with that. Because as they said in this Australian Isaac guy, there are places where you feel better. We do have them in the up north here in our mountains as well. There are places where you feel better. There's even a commercial from one of our soda drink companies that lures on that fact that because their water comes from springs within that special area, that means that it's a very special drink. It's not. It's just water. But you can rest assured that that's a lore that has gone way back from the Vikings and way before that as well. So I think it might have happened. There's no evidence for it. Music in the end. You
Yep.
don't like music in the end.
Well, I feel like it's too easy sometimes to just play music. Like, you don't really have those musical montages throughout the show. Like, it just doesn't. It's like a different style. You know, there's a lot of good dialogue, and then suddenly you have no dialogue. You just have music. But they are fine. I mean, they don't bother me that much. I just.
I think it was bothering you this time, but I had another thing in my head, and that was, but it wasn't the end. The music wasn't in the end. Usually it is that, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Now, final scene. We have to get back to that.
Okay.
The odds for this happening is so low that I'm not really so high that I'm not even going to think about it. Michael shows up at the exact same place as Jack and Kate are waiting for the others to show up.
Yeah, I don't. I agree. I mean, it's a big island. I don't know if that's like a natural path through there. It doesn't.
I suspected foul play immediately.
I well, at first I assumed, well, okay, maybe they let him go. Like, not that he got loose, but they let him go for some reason. But
He was in the hands of the others. Yes.
so maybe we should follow that thread into the next one.
Yes, but I mean, I took a short break between episodes, and I was writing this down, and I suddenly write just suspicious.
Yeah.
This can't be right. And then I went and got me some more coffee, and then I started watching again. So no big break, but still, I was totally, hold it, this can't work. And then he is drugged. I feel like he is drugged. I think we should say that because that might relate later on. It feels like he's drugged already in this case because he just drops poof.
I just thought he was exhausted, like.
Yeah, but I feel it's like drugged. Right. Are we ready to go to the next one?
Yep, that one was pretty
Shoot for the
straightforward,
road.
honestly.
Yeah, well, it was. Now, this one was... yeah. Two for the road. Jack and Kate bring an exhausted Michael back to the camp with news about the others. Meanwhile, Ana Lucia attempts to get the prisoner to confess, and Hurley plans a surprise date for Libby. That wasn't much.
Nope. I like this one a lot because I was so surprised at what happened, like completely surprised.
Well, I'm not.
Okay. Where do you want to start?
We should say that the flashback is about Ana Lucia. We can take that later on because
Yep.
it has nothing to do with anything except for one scene. So Ana Lucia, well, whatever.
Well,
but remember, I just told you that I suspected Michael. The moment that Michael shows up and it's Michael, I became suspicious. Now, getting some coffee within 2 minutes and getting back again doesn't stop me from being suspicious. So as soon as this episode starts, I'm suspicious of Michael. So whatever going to happen, I'm ready for him, and I was. That said, made it even more clear that this is also something that is way too ridiculous for me, because I have at least 7 other plans that I would have taken except for this one that happened. If I were on the other side, among the others.
Well, so why do you think that they sent him back Maybe this is a dumb question, but
Yes, it
purposely
is.
to let Henry go,
No.
to help Henry
Yes,
escape.
well, yes, of course. And they are just using Michael for that. They have convinced him that, yes, we will send you and Walt free as soon as you have done this, blah, blah, blah. And they've done it during drugs, so he has nothing to say to it. And he doesn't have his gun with him, so he can't shoot anything on his way. He knows. And remember, Michael doesn't owe anyone anything. So somewhere in this way, they have made him sure that they are the enemies. Jack and Kate and Sawyer and all that, they are the enemies. Or at least they are trying to stop him from getting Walt.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
And
It's so stupid, so it's not even worth mentioning. But that's the obvious thing. But it's never said any time.
well, the place where I thought that Michael was suspicious, like evidence of him being suspicious, is when he starts talking about the fact that the others are dirty and barefoot and have beards and
Yes.
stuff, and you see Kate give a look to Jack like,
Yeah.
wait, that's not true. Now, it could be honestly, like up to this point, it could be that Michael was just watching them and they were in disguise, or it could be that he
But I
was
was,
told to say that.
yeah, he was. Well, there are two groups, but with the others, there are two groups. We have the big chief with all his staff underneath him, and then we have all the surviving members of other crashes, I suppose, that are going around doing something. I don't know, giving blood or whatever they do. And then they have the kids and all that. I don't know actually what all that other organization is actually doing. And I'm not totally sure that it's Dharma either.
I think there is a possibility, though, that there's only one group of others.
Yes, but they are in, I think they are split in two.
It could be. I can't think of anything that would point it to that way
They
or
eat
the
the
other way,
same
but
food, if that's what you mean. Yes, they do.
I don't know. I mean, we
So
haven't
you
seen
mean you?
anything.
Well, let's put it this way: that we have a boss. Now we have a boss. This guy is so fantastic. He's amazing. Henry is actually almost accusing him of being a god. This Mr. X is intelligent. He knows everything about the island. He knows what to do. He's going around his business, just doing what he should, taking care of survivors that are good persons. That's important.
Yeah.
And then you say, and he's intelligent, and we must say that both Ethan and Goodwin and others are intelligent. Even Henry is intelligent.
Seems
Uh,
to
the,
be.
yeah. And the ones that go around barefoot dragging their teddy bears, they are not seemingly like that much intelligence, are they? I say that the difference between one group and the others of the others are that one group is drugged, the others not.
Okay.
They are in
Well,
the same place, probably somewhere up north, yes.
well, so there's a couple things that I think you said that kind of key into what happened here. One, so Henry, when he's talking to Ana Lucia at the beginning, he says that she killed two. He attacks her because she
Yeah,
killed two of his people, and he said what he actually said to her is, "You killed two people that were leaving you alone."
yeah.
But my memory is that they were coming there and forcibly trying to kidnap people.
Yeah, but that's their vision.
So that was confusing.
No, but they were leaving Ana Lucia alone.
Leaving her alone
Yes,
specifically.
because she's a bad person. So no, they didn't want her. If everyone just sit down and wait to be picked, everything would be fine.
But then, but then, why didn't they come to steal John? So he said that John is one of the good ones.
Yes, but he is actually fighting against. They haven't got the chance yet.
Yeah, it's so then Henry said, like you said, he failed his mission, and he said that his mission was he was coming to get Locke to bring
Yeah.
him over to the others.
And John Locke is the only one who have heard this, so there's no evidence of it.
Well, do you believe it?
Yes.
Or do you think that was just to get Locke more on his
Nope.
side?
No, 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 no. Locke has the island to fight. Don't forget the island. Locke is actually one of the island's people.
So the
And
others
so
know
is
this and they're coming to get Locke
no,
because.
he's just a good person. My definition of good person from Mr. X version is that good person is one that obeys orders, is well more or less Mormons or whatever religious group or sect you can think of, except that this is not religious. That's what I suspect. But that also makes it ridiculous.
Okay.
Let's get back to that situation where I said they could just sit down in a line and wait to be picked. That the others can just come down and get. We want you, 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 and you. Why didn't they do that? Why didn't Mr. X gang or the others just confronted the newly crashed people and said, "We want some of you, but not all"?
I don't know. It's not clear.
It's not clear, no,
Yeah.
because we don't know what the others have in their back pocket and where their mission, what their mission is. That's true, but it would be much easier, much simpler for everyone. And if they are going to kill all the bad people anyway, why don't you just go and shoot them?
Well, and I
Why,
think
why all this cloak and dagger stuff?
so. It sounds like Henry was on his way there to come and talk to them and get Locke, maybe do what you're saying,
Yeah.
but then he got captured by Rousseau and she screwed up his plan.
Yep.
And then now everything he's done since then has just been him trying to adjust on the
Yes.
fly
Yes,
and
but
stay out
if
of trouble.
and now this is where it goes totally wrong because we have always looked at each character. What if they have had a different type of introduction from the start? The fact that they need to plant a guy every time something like this happens
Right.
means that they are not doing it right. Mr. X may be the most intelligent person on the world, but he's stupid as well, or at least ridiculous, because he could have made Henry go and get Locke day one, day two, as soon as Ethan knew who was who, but they were just focusing on the kids at that point. Why not focus on everyone? Why
Yeah.
not focus on the whole group? Because it would have been. Now Jack can suddenly raise an army. He can make Sawyer even him in his side. All the bad persons can suddenly race against Mr. X. Why have a full-scale war on his own island? That's stupid.
Yeah.
So now suddenly I feel like the others are ridiculous. I would have done totally different from the word get-go.
I mean, I would definitely say their tactics are odd and extreme, and like taking Claire to like going to take her baby forcibly from her, like drugging
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of not above board stuff going on, and
And it's not necessary. You could
Yeah.
easily make sure that people that are feeling comfortable on the island, they can stay. The others, just put them on the boat. Just went to the nearest shore, nearest port, whatever. Just get rid of them.
yeah,
Make sure.
it's not really clear what motivates them. We don't even know who they are. I mean, we just know the bearded guy Zeke. We just know Henry.
And now we have a Mr. X that is the big boss of the whole thing. But
Yeah.
since he's, I feel like that guy makes it, well, it's evident that we are not talking about cannibals.
Yeah,
Because of Mr. X. Mr. X is an intelligent guy. He doesn't need to have bad persons as food.
Yeah,
And
I
on
don't.
the other hand, we know that Dharma is still sending food to the island, so no one needs to go without food. So that's not. I mean, why keep something really bad like Jack and Sawyer? Why keep them on the island without not shooting them? They can at any point go and shoot Jack and Sawyer and Kate or whatever bad persons. They can do that. And Henry shows us that they are going to kill if they can. Suddenly he is going to kill Ana Lucia without any reason more than that she had killed some of his men. I mean, it wasn't Henry she killed.
Well, part of me wonders if he didn't do some of that stuff just to get them into a certain mental state, like anger, and then he can blindside them and get them to fight against each other. Like, I feel like part of that was tactics.
Why? Again, why?
Because he seems to just be, I mean, what I've seen up till now, just a manipulator, like really trying to...
Yeah, but he's also following orders.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is the manipulator, yes. But he's useless at the moment because he was in prison, yes. But why make suddenly Jack and Sawyer and all these fight each other? They are already not friends. I mean, they are hating each other's guts more or less all the time. Just let them be. They are going to kill each other. It's totally fine. Why bother? Why all this extra work?
Yeah, it's just politics, mind games.
No, it's not. It's because it is for us, the viewers. We are going to get all this stuff. A simple solution that would have meant that this TV show would have been ended in 13 programs.
Well, I mean, but I think what we've seen is his character is really smart and tries to pit his captors against each other to keep them off guard.
Yeah,
so
but
that
he's still following orders. And that guy who gave him these orders must have also thought that was a good idea.
That we don't know, like, because we don't...
No, but he must have, right? That's the logical thing.
Yeah.
Henry didn't do this of his own mind. He knew what he was supposed to be doing, yes, but he didn't say, I'm going to do this, oh, it's okay. No, it was his boss who told him, you go and do this. And I feel that's the ridiculous part in this place. The others are ridiculous.
So I think as far as Henry goes, I mean, he really, for the last, 5-6 episodes maybe, we really don't know much about him. We just know how they're reacting to him or reacting to this man that they caught. May or may not be Henry. Locke's really the only one that's being manipulated by him so far.
Yes, but he's also the most blue-eyed guy we have on the island.
Right.
Even if you didn't know that in the first time you saw him.
And that's why I feel like this whole thing, like I was coming to get you, John, is maybe part of manipulating Locke, because I think he's just trying to find the weakest person. He's going to manipulate them till they let him go, and then he'll escape. I mean, I think it's that straightforward.
The point is that the others don't... I don't think the others are connected to the island character in the same way that Locke is.
Correct. I would agree. I mean, we're not seeing... we don't have any connection there yet, for sure.
And we also know that Mr. Echo stand up against that black swarm once. So Mr. Echo is also connected to the island in a special way that the others aren't.
Yeah, and we'll definitely talk about that in the next.
And then Rose, of course, as well, because she's also have a green slate. So there are some people that are more good than the others, seen from an island perspective. And that's still the interesting thing. The others are not interesting enough because they are losing my interest, at least.
So let's follow this Henry thread to the last scenes where Michael, and then we'll take it. Then we'll talk about who he interacts with and go back to the beginning. So Henry basically is going to get freed by Michael. Michael's going to stage Henry's escape, like you said, probably at the promise of getting Walt back.
Yeah.
And Michael, apparently out of being desperate, because I don't think he knew who was going to be there or how to get Henry out.
No. He was just going to make sure that he ends up in the bunker. That's the first
Yeah.
main thing. And since he knew that he was in the bunker last time when he was out, he is out again. So that's something that he needs to be, and he is.
So
He wakes up.
yeah, so everybody basically leaves to go off on a mission, we'll say.
Yeah.
Michael's alone with Ana Lucia. He basically tricks her into taking her gun, and he's gonna supposedly shoot Henry. And then he decides to get her out of the way,
Yeah.
and he shoots her, and then Libby surprises him because she's coming back for some blankets.
Yeah.
And then he shoots Libby. Now, I totally was surprised at that part of this.
Well, the most thing I was surprised over that was Michael could hit her. Libby, that is. Okay, Ana Lucia was standing still. That's something else. But Libby was actually coming from behind, and he just throws away 2 shots, both hit.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy has just been taught how to shoot with a weapon. And he's just boom, boom.
Yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
That's, well...
So,
But he has, of course, he's full of adrenaline. He knows what he has to do in order to get Walt free, and he has no feelings for these ones. He says that he's sorry, but I can tell you he's not. His character has nothing to do with sorry. He's just trying to get himself and Walt off this island. He's been clear with that from the word when he started to doing his raft. Mm-hmm. No one else wanted to get off the island. He started to build a raft.
well, and it's interesting that the 2 people he kills are from the tailies, not part of his original group. I don't know if that would have mattered or not.
No, but now that you say, Ana Lucia and Michael are not friends. Have
Right.
never been.
And Libby, he doesn't know, really.
No, he hasn't been.
I mean, he genuinely looked surprised when she came in and then he shot.
Yeah, but that was just reaction.
Yeah, but I don't think he planned. I think he would have just shot whoever was there.
Yeah.
And so yeah, this was a surprise to me.
The last thing he does is shoot himself in the arm.
Yeah.
And that, at least, is the only thing that I thought he had planned or been told to do beforehand.
Yeah.
Now, we don't know if Henry has left or not.
Oh, I'm pretty well at the end of this episode. We don't know. That's true.
No. Yeah. Henry didn't look that surprised.
No. Yeah. I don't think so. Well, Michael definitely looked at him like, okay, I was sent here to, like, he was communicating.
Yeah.
I have a job to do. Yeah, so Michael is now the biggest jerk on the whole island?
No, he's doing what he can for his son. You and I would have done the exact same thing if we were in that situation he is.
I would have tried somehow to get him out. I don't think I would have shot other innocent people, though.
I say it again, he's drugged. One of the reasons that he doesn't really obey his own feelings is that he's drugged. And remember how drugged Claire was. She was actually thinking that Ethan was the most wonderful man on the planet.
Yeah, that's true.
They were almost married at one point.
That's true.
At least in Claire's eyes. I mean, okay, and then Claire is a stupid lady, but in that case, she was so drugged. She was totally off.
Yeah, anything else on Henry or Michael or the others?
We now know that the manuscript is called Evil Twin.
Oh, Bad Twin. Yeah, that's true.
Bad Twin, yeah.
And I
have the translation, and that says Evil Twin.
Ah, interesting. we also know that there's 23 others. There's 22 plus Henry. Yep. Michael says that. That's one of the numbers. That's interesting to me.
Ana Lucia's flashback, now that she's dead, it's totally useless. But it is.
It's just funny that
Jack's dad, just because they are not going to make it feels like they are not going to hire more actors.
Well, so it was interesting that we got to see this right after we talked about it,
Yeah.
where I think in the first, all the way up till now, it hasn't been, I'll say, predictable. And here, like, literally three things that we said in last show all
Yes.
happened. Rosen
The
Bernard
first.
flashback, Anna's flashback of why she's not a cop. I mean,
Yep.
all this stuff. The one thing I didn't see coming was Sawyer and Anna Lucia getting together. That was a
She wants
surprise.
his gun.
Yes,
That's all she wanted.
but I don't think we've seen anyone else. Like even Kate, I'm not sure that she's been with anyone else. But Anna Lucia has.
Well, Kate didn't want a gun.
Yeah.
And she is using every means she can. And when she suddenly realized that Sawyer is going to be not going to go with what she wants, she just wants a gun, and she gets one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure if she got anything else out of that.
Well, I got a little joke. Don't you want my number? Sawyer
Oh yeah.
asks.
He has so many funny lines. I think he's one of the funniest, him and Hurley.
Well, yeah.
But yeah. So she was she was a security screener in L.A.
Yeah.
She meets Jack's dad in the bar.
Yeah.
And okay, now this is interesting to me. So Jack's dad implies that he can help her and she should come with him to Australia just
Yeah.
out of the blue.
Yeah.
So at this point, when I first watched this show, I was strongly suspicious of Jack's dad at this point. And this time I was getting those same vibes. So first of
You
all,
did.
so remember, we think he's dead. We think he was on the plane.
Yes.
We're not sure if his body.
No, we
Jack
haven't
is
found that
seeing
one yet.
Jack's seeing hallucinations. Now he's in Australia for some strange reason. He's implying that he can help her. She should go with him.
Yeah.
She needs a bodyguard. Like he's doing something dangerous. All that was like, is he somehow connected to getting people to the island? That's what I'm thinking. Now,
I wasn't even close to that. No?
so then another, and I don't have anything else in this episode to back it up, but the way he was talking to her,
Yeah.
it was like he was almost he was going to do everything he could to get her there and get her on this plane home, I
Yes,
think.
but what he meant by helping was getting out of the country, getting
Yeah.
away from where she
Yes.
was.
Yeah.
And actually, that was what she needed, or at least that's
Yeah.
what she thought she needed.
Well,
And then she ended up drinking a lot instead, and that wasn't what she was planning.
now he also insists on using code names and not their real names.
Yep.
And he calls her Sarah, which is the lady that was Jack's wife that
Yes.
Jack just screwed that up. Why do
Yeah.
you think he uses that name?
Not totally sure.
Like I think I would use some completely different name. I wouldn't use any familiar names. That one seems very specifically chosen though.
We haven't actually seen Sarah and the dad together except in the hospital where she was treated. She was a miracle, Sarah. She went up and suddenly started to move, which she couldn't. Perhaps that's one thing. She was a miracle, and Sarah is a miracle.
Yeah.
And he needed one. I'm not totally sure, but that's a long
Yeah.
if
Well, it was weird, and then I found out that Australians drive on the wrong side of the road.
yeah, that's, they are a British colony. So.
I just assumed that England was the only and India were the only countries where the steering wheel's on the wrong side of the car. I just found that interesting.
Malaysian.
And Jack's dad, I've been waiting this whole time to figure out why is he in Australia. It's to see his daughter, who
Yeah.
must have been some affair kind of
Yeah.
thing. And I'm not sure if we know who his daughter is. Okay.
Not yet.
Okay.
Or if ever.
Like the lady that was coming out of the house, have we seen her before? She looked familiar to me. But I
Most
could
of
be
them do.
just I could be just
It looked a bit like the other lady, not Libby, the other one.
Cindy?
Yeah, a bit like it. But as they said, blonde, everyone looks the same when they are a blonde, white female or male.
Yeah. I not like I almost okay. What I was almost thinking is like it looks like Kate's mom, but it definitely wasn't.
Nope, it
But
wasn't.
so Jack has a sister who was there in Australia,
Yep.
and it seems like Anna Lucia Lee parts ways with Jack's dad when he goes into that bar.
And meet Sawyer later on because
Yeah.
Sawyer just got his door in New
Yeah.
York. Yeah. But
And I
one
don't
thing
think
before we go further,
Yeah.
Anna Lucia is actually stopping Jack's dad from getting in. And I think he's actually his real name is Tom. I think Jack's dad his name is Tom.
well I don't know if they said it yet, but his real name is Christian.
Okay, Christian. Okay.
Yeah, they may
like-
not have said it. I can't remember.
No problem.
It's
Now,
not Tom.
When Alana Lucia stops him from getting inside the house, she's actually using police moves to stop him. I think that's that little tiny detail you really need. She is a copper. She knows what moves how to handle one of these guys, and she actually do that. Even if she's way much shorter than Jack's dad, she can do that because she's a copper. I think that's a very good, nice touch, a really nice
Yeah.
detail.
Well, and so at this point we're supposed to assume that she leaves him at the bar, and at that bar or sometime very shortly afterwards, because she's basically leaving,
Yeah,
that he has a heart attack
yeah.
at the bar, which we haven't seen. We haven't seen any of this confirmation yet that he's really dead. I
don't think we will.
And then she's in line behind Jack when he's talking about my dad had a heart attack. I don't think she's put the pieces together that that's Jack's dad, like
No,
Sawyer did.
No.
But I think, well, obviously at this point, actually now we're not going to know because she's dead.
Exactly. But the last thing we see her do in the flashback is that she's calling Ma, and I want to go home like a little girl.
Yeah. So I at least was saying, like, I don't really know where her plot is going, what purpose she has now. I think we don't have to worry about that too much anymore.
Do we? Not. Because what did Ana Lucia tell her mother? I'm coming on Ocean Flight 8015. I'm going to meet you, the mother says.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that means that Ana Lucia's mother knows that the plane is missing.
Yeah.
And she's a police commissioner or something. She's a big honcho. Or at least bigger than the usual cop.
Okay.
So she might actually do some research back home, but we are never going to know that.
Yeah, I mean, everybody, you got to assume that everyone in the world knows that this plane is missing because that's
Yes.
big news. I mean, look at the...
Yes, but a police chief is a bit better on getting information she needs,
Sure.
like from FBI or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what information they'll have. They didn't... The black box, they're off course. Like, they're not even looking in the right place.
No.
So, what other areas?
We are not. I suppose we are not going to see anything of it. We'll see. Right. Well, that was Ana Lucia. I'm not missing her. I'm not missing Libby either. But Hurley's going to miss her, I suppose.
Yeah, that actually makes me bummed because for Hurley's sake.
Yeah. Poor
And
her.
I did wonder because he even says this is a stupid line, but he even says maybe if I get drunk enough, I'll remember where I know you from.
Yeah.
And she kind of winces a little bit. I think she knows.
Yeah. That was my impression as well.
Yeah, and that line seems kind of forced from him. Like, it doesn't sound like a line a guy would actually say.
No, but he's not saying much things that
Yeah,
people do say anymore.
yeah. But I thought that the whole scene with him and Libby and forgetting the blankets and drinks, and then Jin gives him a thumbs up. I thought that was all very endearing.
Yeah.
And he's, I mean, honestly, like, she was really putting up with him having some troubles. So poor guy.
Well, we won't see much more of that, I suppose. Well, let's go over to the next episode.
So this one's
Christian's Mark.
yeah. I've been waiting for this one because every time we talk about that lost Minecraft map, I just think about the green wool question mark in the ground.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought for sure, okay, any minute now, Fellonius is going to remember that and get a
Nope.
little spoiled.
Nope.
Okay.
Not until now. Now that you said it, because there's not much left from that Minecraft map that I really remember.
Yeah.
It's way ago. I didn't even play your CTM version right. You know that.
So let me read about this one.
Yes.
Mr. Echo enlists Locke to help find a secret location he believes houses the answers to the island's mysteries. Across the island, Jack and the other survivors struggle to cope with the horrific situation in the hatch. Straight and simple, but I have a lot of notes on this one.
I haven't, because to me this is really straight and simple.
Now, okay, so of the 3 episodes, where does this one fall?
This is the best one of the 3.
Okay, so at least
Mainly because Mr. Echo is in it.
okay.
I like
So
that guy.
I wasn't so this episode starts with Mr. Echo having a dream with Ana Lucia in it. Now, I'll jump around. Later in this episode, Mr. Echo's in the airport, and this girl Charlotte comes up to him and gives him a message from Yemi. So I'm completely now convinced that there is a supernatural element to the island. It's not just science, and it wants Echo. It's leading Echo there, and apparently he's there to help John.
No, he's there to help the island. But the island also needs John, and in order to get John to help the island, they need to cooperate.
Yeah, these two guys are destined to be together.
Yes, that's probably some others as well.
Yeah. And the whole scene where so now go back to when Boone was in the plane.
Yeah.
And he climbed up and Locke didn't. So did the island want I think the island wanted Locke to find the question mark station at that
Yes,
point.
because as you probably know, when he reached that point, he suddenly couldn't walk anymore. Mm-hmm. He was almost sitting on that new hatch.
Yep.
He was almost, well, I think he just had his hand just a couple of feet away from the hatch at that point. He couldn't go any further.
Yeah, so it seems like the island wants him to find this hatch,
Yes.
which I don't understand why.
Because he's going to be the surveillance man. He's going to be the new Dharma man.
Well, it's interesting that the initial effect, though, is that it makes John almost completely give up his faith
Exactly.
in the button. Maybe the island wanted him to not open the first hatch, and so as soon as it was set that he was going to open it, that's when the island's trying to persuade him to find this other one, because he's not supposed to be bothering with these numbers and stuff.
No. He's going to have, well, as you probably know, there are 6 different types of instructions. So he's going to, I think, straightforward, that John Locke is going to be the Dharma Initiative's new guy over all of them, not just one hatch. All of them. The whole initiative is Locke's initiative at this point. Or at least that's what the island needs. Mm-hmm. They need him. And they also know that he needs some help. So they are picking people that are good, of course. and taking Mr. Echo, who's been killing people left, right, and center. That's one of the twists of this game, but that's how it is.
Well, and
So
he's convinced that the button pushing is important, and belief and faith, and there's mysterious stuff going on.
yes, but Mr. Echo has been on the other side of the island first, and when he found the beechcraft for the first time and found his brother, he suddenly got a whole other experience of the whole island. That's when he started his church and all that. So he's totally into that this island is something completely new, and he's actually he is intelligent enough to understand that his dreams are just dreams.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
he's
yeah.
also intelligent enough to read the dreams to the real world. And that's not many that we have been talking about dreams before, you and I, so that's nothing new. But he's in every sense getting help to do it. Now, he's not saying it explicitly, but God might help him. He's not saying it. But I feel like he has, that's why he's building a church.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
He's thanking God. And that's something that he wants to have on the island, but away from the island. It's not an island thing. It's a God thing.
Yeah.
He's not saying it, and you're not going to hear him say it in a while. But he knows that he has to help Locke in this case.
Yeah, so so this is this. So now the whole science aspect of this, right? So the Pearl Station, which is what they found,
Yep.
is observing an experiment in the other station.
Yes.
Now, do you think? So, do you think that the button pushing is fake and it's just
Yes.
a thing?
This is it. It's an experiment.
Because I kind of feel like, what if all of these stations are somehow interacting with each other, either observing, or maybe when they're pushing the button, they're causing something in another station to happen, and it's
Yep.
like a circle thing.
Yes, and that's
And
another experiment and so on. Yes.
and that's why the Dharma doesn't want anyone talking to each other, communicating. And also, the guy in the orientation film, he gave a different name for himself.
Yeah. Oh,
He was,
that's true.
yeah, he was, I think, Candle, I think was his name in the first one. And this one, he's Wickman, which is like a candle.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So I feel like, now I don't know about the medical station, but I feel like, or maybe wherever they're sending those notes in the tubes, is sending them to another station,
Yes.
and there's going to be this endless loop thing going on.
Yep. And there was a camera as well in the Pearl Station looking down at these people.
Yep.
And it was the same camera they have used to record the instruction movie, of course.
Yeah, and
Same angle.
I feel like when Echo was trying to get to the question mark, I kept thinking it was the question mark in the middle because that was like the big bold question mark. But apparently they were just trying to get to another one of the stations around the outside question mark.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I didn't give it a thought, but now that you say it, I thought it was the middle question mark. But
Right. That's
now,
where...
now, when we know that when we suddenly found out what Pearl was actually including, and I think you're right. The middle question mark is where the real thing happens, where everything gets together. Where
there's something big in the middle.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Beechcraft is off. The Beechcraft is off to the side. It's like one of the spokes. It's not in the middle.
That is true.
So that kind of confused me. In fact, if I remember the image I sent you, the blast door map, I think there was a bunch of question marks.
Probably was.
And I was thinking to myself, like, aren't they going to get confused? Which question mark are they going to?
Yeah,
so,
but you did some really research on this one.
Well, that, but I mean, even just looking at the image, I just pulled it up again. Oh, you know what? Actually, okay, this image, the only question mark is in the middle.
Yes, that is true. No, well, there is one in C4 to the right, but that's a little one. That's it.
So I see the words the swan, the flame, the staff, arrow. I don't
Mhm.
see the pearl on here. Also, maybe the pearl is in the middle
Well, it might be.
and it's observing all the other stations or just the swan.
We don't know, but all these ones are cut off. And if you don't have the picture out there, well, it was that bluish thing that Locke saw when he was lying down.
Oh, you're right.
Right.
You're right. The central location, the question mark, is the pearl. I always thought the center was something that we haven't seen yet that comes in a later season.
Okay, yeah, yeah, but you have seen all the seasons. I haven't, so now,
Huh.
technically, as you said, technically, this is what you like most, the Dharma Institute, right?
Yeah, but now this changes my whole opinion because I just thought that was just another station, a small little thing. So now I'm going to take back what I said about the loop of the stations. If this one's in the
Uh, uh, uh,
middle,
uh.
then
No, no, no,
this
no, 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 no. Why is the problem that? Because they only watched one other station from Pearl.
I know, but they're in the middle of a circle. You would
That
think that
doesn't. Yeah, but that's just your mind.
right.
Why can't you put one single station in a middle?
Well, because if all the others are pointing to the middle, the center should be something very important. Not
Pointing, that's some sort of underground
yeah.
corridors or something that has been filled with concrete.
But this one is only pointing to one. This one should be pointing out to all the spokes, like able to observe all of them, not just the one. But the tape was only for the one.
Yes.
I don't know. We'll have to see if this matters later. But I think I still think that there are more stations that are meant to interact. I'm just not sure what else we're going to see. I
We'll
think
see.
I think now they know the swan in the middle for sure. They know the medical, or at least some of them do.
Yes, and we know the arrow.
So now they should really be able to pinpoint the rest.
If they're interested.
Yeah, yeah. If
And
they actually,
that's one of the problems because you and I would probably love to see Echo and Locke or whoever, Charlie, get going with this, cracking this Dharma thing.
yeah,
Never mind the others, never mind Jack and Kate, don't bother with Sawyer, just get this Dharma thing over with.
right.
That's what we want. That's not going to happen either.
Well, and this is another thing. So the island is our character.
Yes,
Dharma is some people that only came here in the 70s, 80s.
yes, but it
So,
is connected to the island of such.
but does the island really want these guys to figure out the Dharma mystery, or does the island want them to do something else? Like, I don't know what the I don't know what the island wants yet. It's still anyway. There's a lot of questions.
No
so
kidding. As
so
usual.
so I want to jump back to the first scene, the dream.
Yep.
Only I didn't because I didn't mention this in the last one because I wasn't sure if Ana Lucia was totally dead or not. This one we confirm she is.
She is
Do
living
you
snot.
do you know that she was originally not intended to be killed off?
Okay.
But the actress that plays her,
Yeah.
is it Michelle Gomez, something like that? She got arrested in Hawaii for drunk driving during the filming, and so the people running the show said we don't want any people with drunk driving to be part of our show, so we're going to kill your character off. So they
Yep.
changed her storyline to get rid of her at this point. in the
That was
show.
clever because she was not contributing that much anyway. So
Yeah, I think it worked out okay, but I just think it's interesting that external events with the actors changed what the plan was for the
yeah,
characters.
but remember, Lost is actually a TV show that should be under wraps, undercover at all time.
Sure.
So at any time she's out there drunk driving, she might tell people about what's going on or where they are or whatever. And if you're just showing, setting an example, have you ever heard about that?
Of course.
They are that's what they're doing. They are setting an example, not for Ana Lucia's character or for her actor, for the other actors as well.
Well, in this show, by the second season, it was pretty much a huge win for Hawaii as a
Yep.
film industry. They were never a big filming, and at this point, a lot of people were showing interest in coming to film in Hawaii, which means more taxes for Hawaii.
Absolutely.
And so they didn't, and like they literally built a whole support capability to film there, cameras and
Yes.
producers and catering, and all this stuff was built for Lost and then used to attract all these other shows. And so they
Yeah.
didn't want to have, like you said, a bad impression.
Exactly.
But it's interesting that Libby's character, on the other hand, I guess was just always meant to die. I guess just to take something away from Hurley. Every time he gets something good, it gets taken from him.
That's one point, yes, because I feel like it had more to do with Hurley than it had to do with Libby.
Yeah. And
Hurley gets, for once, Kate just tells him what has happened. For once, they're not trying to lie to people. And that was at least something that comforted me. And then Hurley is sitting there trying to cry. It's not easy. I know that. You can't do that on command. So it is more for Hurley. He hasn't just realized it yet that every time he gets something, it's taken away. Wait a minute, shouldn't he have a clean slate?
I mean,
That was what I thought.
well, I mean, he could. So at this point, he could have very easily thought to himself, it's because of me and the numbers that she got killed. This
Yes.
is what happens to people that I like.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what his reaction will be yet. They didn't show him, but ah, man,
No.
I mean, he finally was getting everything he wanted.
Yeah.
Like, poor guy.
But I think they haven't exploited it more. They should. But he hasn't been, as we said last episode as well, he hasn't been the jinxter anymore. He hasn't have had bad luck. That part has been more or less removed from him, but he hasn't realized it
Yeah.
as yet. And the last time we saw him and his flashbacks, it was Dave, and now they have taken away that fantasy figure as well. But he hasn't really realized that yet either. Hurley is actually building up towards the tornado. And if he ever gets to know that it was Michael who shot Libby, Sawyer was almost minced meat. That's nothing. Hurley's going to kill Michael in different ways.
Yeah, it's interesting because Michael's still there, so
Yeah.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm really. It was very hard for me to not watch the next episode.
I can see that. Right. There is one more thing that we
Yeah.
need to connect. This is connection, nothing else.
Yeah.
Mr. Echo was the flashback, and Mr. Echo is now imposing as a priest without being one. He's actually even having a Monsignor. That means that he's a Catholic. What? Can't even say that early in the morning. So, and he's supposed to be investigating a miracle.
Yep.
Yep, and that miracle turns out to be not a miracle, and the man, the father of the young lady who had drowned and get back from to life again, is Claire psychic.
Yeah, it was interesting that he seemed to take the opposite side. So for Claire, he and for others, he's the mystical guy, and for
Yeah.
this, he's the science guy.
Yeah, but did you really listen to what he said? He just finds people's background and give them something
Yeah,
based on that.
yeah.
He is actually a fake. He's standing there acknowledging I'm usually a fake.
Mm-hmm.
But when he had Claire, he suddenly couldn't help her. And I got the feeling that he has suddenly realized something or got something, not dream or anything, that told him that she's going to end up on an island or crashing in a plane or something. And a psychic can never tell you if you're going to die. That's impossible. That's
Mm-hmm.
one of their stupid rules. I know that. And I still think it's stupid. But that's one thing. And in this case, he says he's a fake. And now the timing, my friend. That incident with Mr. Echo must or should be after Claire incident. Or is it not?
No, you're right. It should be because then it seems like only the next day or something when
Yes.
Echo's leaving because he just got the fake papers, his
Yeah.
passport. So he was just leaving, and then she comes to the airport to
Yeah.
tell him. And so I think it was after Claire because Claire was like, well, a little bit before that, I
It's
think.
not much. It's about a week. Everything happens
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
the week before Ocean 815 is leaving. That's an intense week, a really intense
Oh,
week.
yeah.
Everything happens at once, but still. Now, the fake psychic didn't see what was coming for Mr. Echo. I couldn't really believe that.
Yeah.
Because even if he's a fake psychic, he wasn't a fake psychic with Claire, and suddenly standing in front of a fake priest, he should have been, but he was probably just copped up with his daughter's problems or something.
Hmm.
Now, the dream that she comes with, I mean, what? How would you react if some strange young lady comes up and says, "Your dead brother is going to greet you with that he's got faith in you"? I mean, I would probably be just as Mr. Echo. How much beating do you want?
Well, and you also see like he doesn't understand that message until he finds his brothers
No.
on the island. Then it all clicks into place.
Yeah.
And so he I think has a stronger connection or rationale for the island than Locke. Like Locke was healed, but other than that, like he didn't have all these coincidences
No.
driving him there.
No, but Locke has also been doing some stupid things.
Yeah.
Locke has been trying to trust people, and that didn't work.
Yeah, and
But
he
that's because Locke is doing what he usually do. He trusts people, and that doesn't work in his real life or before either. And now he's doing it on the island. It doesn't work again. He's not thinking in a new line.
yeah.
He'll get there, and you probably don't like him better for that. But still, Mr. Echo, on the other hand, if or if not, he's got God on his side. It doesn't really matter. He's believing, and that's the main thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't need more stuff. He's had his 40 days of silence. There was something happening during that period, and then he found his dead brother, and now he's building a church. He is so straightforward at this point. It's almost, well, it's blunt. It's almost blunt.
Yeah. So I like this one. I like the montage at the end of this one. Mainly because it had the beeping overlaid on top of the music and the images. And
Yeah,
it's like everyone's so distracted, everyone's forgetting that the beeping is going on.
yeah.
So I wonder if we're going to have a point where they just let it go, or if Echo's going to now take over. I don't know. I can't wait to see the next one.
Well, let's put it together with this then. It feels like the only part of the Dharma initiative that was still working like 20, 25 years later, it was this one.
The Desmond
Yeah.
who wasn't originally from Dharma
No,
got
and
pulled into it by this other guy
we
who
don't even know if Kelvin was
e-
pure
exactly
Dharma.
exactly
But that's
that's
the only thing that's still working. And I think that's what Mr. Echo feels. This is still working. We should make it continue.
he definitely has faith that he was led to this place to
Ooh,
make this
yes.
discovery and that it is important. I don't completely get it, but I very
Nope.
much believe it. He like the character, the acting is so good
Yeah.
that I
And
believe it.
this part is not ridiculous. And it also feels like after these two, the others episode that we have had, which I feel are really actually pulling this show down. Now we get back to the island part. And the island part I still love.
Yeah.
Totally love that part. But the others is actually getting me annoyed. Hopefully they shift into higher gear and do some better stuff.
Well, and I guess I hate to backtrack again, but like, so does Michael killing Libby and Anna? Does the island like that? Does the
Doesn't bother.
okay?
It doesn't feel like it's bothering me that. Michael has nothing to do with the island.
But did Anna or Libby?
You can see it like this. They are talking about good and bad persons up at the others' camp, right?
Yeah.
They are talking about we are going to get all the good people at our side, and the bad people can go or do whatever they want. The good and bad things is also something that the island is doing. It's also trying to get all the good things, and it's not even thinking about the bad stuff, but it's not trying to kill anything. Do you remember when it tried to pull down Locke into a hole?
Yeah, of course.
And Locke was actually feeling like, let go, I want to go, I want to go. At that point, if that had happened, we have never seen Locke again, and we have not probably seen much of Dharma, and we would not have known much about the island until Mr. Echo shows up.
So
And that's because the good and bad stuff is also happening. So I feel like the others and the island are all going in for good and bad, but they are doing it because of other reasons.
So then you think Locke and or Echo, the duo, is going to be the main character of the show going forward?
No, no, no. The main characters of the island.
Or yeah.
That's something completely different because the show needs American heroes, stupid women, shooting, weapons, and stuff. And I
But the
don't
show
like-
wants, I mean, the island wants, but from the island, those are the two people.
The island doesn't need any guns.
Yeah.
The island has a black swarm.
Okay.
You can't shoot that one. I say island going to win this. Yeah. Okay, so now we have passed the ridiculous point. Let's hope it's getting better. We are closing in on the 3 last episodes of this season.
Yeah, 3 minutes. I don't know what that one is about.
Okay.
And Live Together, Die Alone, parts 1 and 2. Now, my DVD only has 2 left. It just has the Live Together as one long.
Yeah, but I have it as 2.
Yeah, so we'll have to figure out how we cover it next time. But basically, we're gonna do these last 3 hours, and then
We do a
probably
season recap, right?
yeah, and then we gonna roll right into season 3. I don't think we're gonna take any breaks or anything. So
No need for that. We need more Lost.
yep, and I think we'll talk about the next season in 2 episodes from now.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
Right, and thank you for listening out there.
Yes. Thank you for watching with me. This has been awesome.
Yeah, even if it's ridiculous.
Do you? Okay. Okay.
We'll get back to it. Don't worry. It's an awesome show thanks to the island.
Bye.
Bye.